Oh,
I'm
uh,
gonna try one more time and then
yeah.
we'll see what to do because I don't want
Okay.
to keep everybody waiting either. So
She got
let
20 minutes
me
left.
try to get off here. Yeah, kind of, let me see how to leave here. It doesn't say it here.
Can you find your end meeting?
Okay, let me get this bigger. Chat, react. Let me just see if that's there. Share. Let me see if this works. Does that
Okay.
work? Ah, for goodness sakes, do we get it?
Are you on your presentation to share? Like, share that.
That, you have it?
No, I'm not seeing it. Let's just do your presentation.
Oh,
And then
no.
what we can do is if you email me your slide deck, we can just
All
email
right.
it to the participants.
Well,
It'll be like an extra gift for them. No
yeah,
worries.
I am so sorry because this is, it's easier to see it now. So I'm on here, correct? Because I'm just,
We can see, yeah, you are on, my
well, I
friend.
am just gonna talk, guys, because let me just, I am
Because
so
apparently
sorry.
God, the universe just wants to see you and see you talk.
Who knows? I don't know, guys, but anyway,
Guess
but
what? You are now screen sharing.
oh gosh, really? I didn't even do
Yep,
anything. So
it just popped up.
hi
See,
guys,
that's
I
what.
am so sorry, but I hope you enjoyed the thing of is that, can you see it well? Good, Pam?
Yes, yeah, I can
Okay.
see your screen.
The thing of getting up before you start anything, and you can do that shaking thing, like shaking yourself out. There's a certain way to do it that's really helpful, and you can go side to side and all, and then breathing after. And there's science behind this also. Everything we're going to talk about today, which is going to be about stress versus anxiety, the differences. And the idea is that you're removing suffering and finding freedom in your life. Now, I am a life mindset coach, a hypnotherapist, and a transformational speaker. And what I do is I love combining body mind connection, subconscious, conscious connection, and really for people to learn how to change the unhelpful, negative, and limiting thoughts that are definitely not serving them, that may be even hurting them. And we can do this different ways. One, through the mind by changing the neural pathways. I'm sure many of you have heard this, where a bunch of neurons or cells come together and they create a pathway of thinking. We learn now through neuroscience and neuroplasticity that we can change that. We also have to go into the body and mind. So today, I don't want to go into too much, but I want to give you a little bit about the science, but not overwhelming science, not hard science, just so I consider people to be intelligent and whole. And it's very important to understand how your brain, mind, and body work to be able to change anything. And that's the whole idea, isn't it? So again, that stand up, shaking, and breathing is great to do. Even if you're at work, let's say you're working at home, every hour do that. Or if you want to take a 3 minute break or 5 minute break, you can get up and dance around the room. I happen to like the Rolling Stones, whatever suits you. Just move your body, get it moving. As I said, we're the only animals who don't shake out our trauma, anxiety, and release and stress. And after COVID and what's going on now in the world, there's not one of us who doesn't have some sort of trauma or anxiety going on. The reason I picked this subject is because I'm going to say 99% of my clients and a lot of the younger generations, as you see, I'm a baby boomer, but a lot of the younger generations are coming to me because there's a lot of anxiety going around or around. And as Dr. Murty, our Surgeon General, has said, loneliness and anxiety are sort of epidemics in our country. But I want to get clear the differences between stress and anxiety because we use these words kind of all the time. You hear all the time people, almost every client who comes to me says, I have anxiety. So I want to clarify this a little more, okay? Because there's some stuff that's, let's call normal, and some stuff that's harder. Now, a lot of us do have anxiety, okay? I mean, I came to this work because I had so many years of suffering of really intense, consistent anxiety for decades. All right. And I didn't understand it because on the outside, I was quite successful. I was able to become a dentist. I was a dentist for many years. I was able to raise my son. I was able to do a lot of things. But on the outside, I looked fine. right? Like many of us do. But on the inside, I wasn't doing well. I was extremely anxious all the time. I was hyper vigilant. I was always on alert, right? And I was open minded. I went for years, decades of coaching, therapy, somatic practitioners. I read thousands of books, courses, and all that, like many of you might be doing. And I finally understood that I had to do the inner work, that what I was afraid of was buried beneath in my subconscious mind, the mind that lies under. Now, we are, just to let you know the differences, our conscious mind is our everyday mind. That's how we're talking. We have ideas, we have our to-do lists, right? We get things done. And in this society, we're very oriented toward the mind. We kind of forget that we have a body. And I don't mean in a physical way, right? So the body, actually, you could figure is the representation of the subconscious mind. A lot of the stuff of our lives is buried down there. So I realized that I had to go in and face that icky stuff. In my case, a lot of intergenerational and developmental trauma, a lot. My parents were French children Holocaust survivors. So there was a lot of intergenerational trauma. I had to go in there and really start figuring it out. So just to let you know, when you're in your early days, from 0 to 7 years, your subconscious mind is like a sponge, absorbing everything from your parents, your family, your community, the rules of the community and the society, right? And we grow up, and these ideas or rules stay within us, right? But we don't realize that they're what's really ruling us. We think our conscious mind, right? What we want to accomplish, what we desire, and all that is what's running the show. But it's not. That's where I finally realized, oh my gosh, what I want, I'm trying everything. I tried everything to get myself where I wanted to go, but I was stuck. Okay, because I had to excavate the subconscious stuff and bring it up to conscious awareness. Are you following, Pam? Is that understandable? Yeah. Okay. If
I
anybody doesn't understand what I'm talking about, please feel free to step in and tell me. But I think it's really important to know how you work. So you want to change the neural pathways in your brain if you want to change limiting beliefs, right? So going back to stress versus anxiety, we all have stress in our lives, clearly. And this is normal. This is part of life, right? Does anybody know, and Pam, you could ask them, what is the primary function of the mind? What is the primary function of our brain mind? It is safety and survival, right? So we will do anything to stay safe and to survive. So how it works is that you have a little stress, and stress, I'm going to just go over a little bit of the differences in the definitions. Stress is from a known source. Let's say you have a work deadline, or let's say you have problems getting your PowerPoint up, or let's say, right? It's a form of stress, or your kids are bugging you, which isn't, a form of stress a lot of us might understand. This is stress. Now, what happens with stress is that typically you figure out what the stress is. And if you have a healthy body and mind, your body and mind will return to what we call center or balance. In science, we call it homeostasis. We always want to. So how we work is we have a stress, we go back to balance or homeostasis. Another stress, back to homeostasis. Now, okay, that's if you are in healthy shape. Now, if you're not in such healthy shape, when stress is over years, decades, becomes chronic, it came that way because you were trying to survive and be safe where you were, in the home you were, or whatever the situation you were. But over time, if stress becomes chronic, your body and your mind don't have a chance to go back to balance. So you have stress hormones like cortisol released in your body and going and putting you on alert. You've heard of the fight or flight, right? Or freeze or fawn response. And if you have this enough, it becomes anxiety. And anxiety is more a specific feeling of like dread or fear. And you don't always know the source because what triggers you, you don't necessarily know. You can start to learn that. And if you have an anxiety disorder, which I'll go over a few that you might recognize, you might get up anxious for no reason or a reason that you consciously know about. I did this for years. Okay. It's important to know that anxiety is often the reason behind and below the stress, right? There's often something going on that we're not consciously aware of, right? So to decrease this suffering, because anxiety it's a lot of suffering. It is. I get it. And to decrease this suffering and increase your freedom to become who you are and think and act in a way that is aligned with who you are, who you really are, you have to really get to the root cause of your anxiety. All right. And so this way you can hear the real you, the inner voice, as opposed to your inner critic. Because when you're anxious all the time, you are hearing that inner critic. Am I right? Going constantly. A lot of us. Again, chronic stress can become anxiety. So you understand the differences. And to be honest, in this day and age, there's so much external stress, like much more than when I was growing up. And a lot of us are developing anxiety, right? So this is something to keep in mind. But there's always good news. And there is good news with this, because if I could do it, even though it took me decades, you can do it too. So the good news is that you can change your thoughts, your even understanding of the sensations and feelings in your body to change the way you're thinking and therefore the way you behave and therefore your life. Okay. So in the last 2 years, I was saying that we learned a lot about neuroscience. We learned about neuroplasticity, which says that our minds are malleable. They can be changed. Thank God for this, because when I was a kid, there was something called the fixed mindset. So there's a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. The growth mindset is when you understand that a trait, like even intelligence or resilience, is changeable, right? You can change, you can learn skills, you can get feedback. A fixed mindset, on the other hand, you think that things don't change. You're born with a certain set of traits and skills and they don't change. That's how people thought when I was a kid. So what I learned is that when I got to the age I am now, I wouldn't be able to learn anymore or develop something new. Now I know that's not true because I'm constantly learning. I change careers, I change my lifestyle. So it's great to know that you can always be changing. And I just want to say this, guys, no matter what your age or your stage of life, it's never too early, it's never too late. You can always change to align to who you really authentically are and become more joyful, more peaceful, more content. It doesn't matter where you are in life, what age you are. I always remember Grandma Moses, who started painting in her 80s. Doesn't matter. Okay. You just have to know that you can always change and always grow, and you can learn the skills to do this. Something really important to learn that I learned over the years, and I know I'm jumping around, but there's so many important ideas here. And I'm sorry if these slides are a little full, but I did it because some people are visual, some are auditory, some are kinesthetic. If it's better for you to just listen, then just listen or take notes, or you can see these slides after. But I wanted to put this up there so I could just get this across to you. Very important. Number one, I just want to all tell you this. You are not alone. You are not broken. You are not crazy. And I'm saying this because I thought I was all of these things for most of my life, because I couldn't understand, I'm a fairly intelligent person. I was able to accomplish things. Why I couldn't change things. Why? Because I was using just my conscious. I wasn't connecting my subconscious beliefs to my conscious awareness. I wasn't being aware of my body, the sensations and feelings. I wasn't letting myself feel emotions. I was constantly trying to get rid of them, right? So by staying busy, some of us do it by drinking, sex, eating too much, staying too busy, all those things, right? But the bottom line is you got to go in, you got to do the work. Something very important. This was a sort of an aha moment for me. After years, I just said, wow, it's my thoughts. It's the way I'm thinking. You know, we have like 70,000 thoughts a day. I just want to tell you this, and excuse my New York kind of salty language, but you know, 70,000 thoughts, most of them are BS, okay? Like pure BS. The bottom line, what changed my life is I realized I don't have to believe my thoughts. I spend so much of my life believing my thoughts. I have to be honest, a lot of our thoughts are bullshit. They're just not right. So what you have to learn to do is question your thoughts, to become the objective observer of yourself and your thoughts. Okay? This is really important. Are people keeping up with this, Pam? I'm kind of jumping around, but I don't hear you.
Sorry. Judith says, I think I understand anxiety. I have agoraphobia and would love to change my thoughts on that.
Oh, beautiful. And I'm going to go over some
Yeah.
anxiety.
Gigi, you have 3 minutes left for your time.
3 minutes. Oh my gosh. I have so much to go through. Anyway, don't believe I'm going to go very fast. Don't believe your thoughts, guys. There's a negativity bias, which is for safety and survival. So we're always going to go to the worst case scenario. Again, I don't want to keep going over this, but just so you understand, I want to go over some of those anxiety disorders. One is generalized anxiety, GAD, social anxiety. There are specific phobias. That's why I became a hypnotherapist, to help people with those. Separation anxiety, OCD, which I had for years, agoraphobia, which she just said she has, but I could talk to her about that, not a problem. And people will recognize also panic attacks. I'm sorry, I'm kind of rushing now, but I have so much to share. If anybody wants, just be in touch. Anxiety, again, floods your brains with hormones. So it's not your fault. Your body and your mind are going on alert, okay? Our brains develop from the bottom up. We have a reptilian brain, which reacts automatic, our heartbeat, our breath, and all that. Then we have the limbic system, which is the emotional system, the amygdala. Then we have the prefrontal cortex, which is the thinking brain. So if you're in constant anxiety, fight or flight, this part, the cortex, the last one to come on, can't come on. That's our rational brain, our executive function brain. So if that can't come on, we can't think right. That's why with anxiety, we can't think right. There is so much you can do about it, folks, though. And again, I'm sorry to rush, but I want to give just a few tips for living with anxiety. Number one, do what we did. Move your body. Exercise and movement are really helpful, but do things that you want to do that give you joy, not things you go, ugh. For example, for me, it's Pilates, dance, Peloton. Make sure you write it down in your calendar and you go do it. Do things that give you joy and move your body around. Restful sleep, really important. I wrote a book about it years ago on Amazon Kindle, Sleep Glorious Sleep, a lot of tips. I want to give you a tip now before you go to sleep at night. Say 3 things you're grateful for, and then 3 things you're grateful for about yourself. We tend not to do this. We have to give ourselves credit for things, okay? Other ways to manage anxiety. Again, question your thoughts. You have to observe your thoughts. I go like this. Be the objective observer of your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. Write this down. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer, the objective observer of your thoughts. Your thoughts are not you. They are not who you are. Please don't believe them. And if you want to learn 4 questions to ask yourself, here are 4 basic questions to observe your thought. Is this thought true? Let's say you think it is. Can I be sure 100% that this thought is true? Not really. How do you feel with mind, body, and spirit if this is true? And how do you feel of mind, body, and spirit if it's not? Now, if something feels neutral, calm, or at peace when your body reacts by feeling this way, usually this is the right thought. If your body gets tensed and tight, it's usually not. Aromatherapy can be incredibly helpful. For me, it's lavender. I'm from a French family. Lavender is fantastic for relaxation. Just a little more, Pam. Also practice. There are different kinds of breathing techniques, which I teach and I use. I taught them to my dental patients and my coaching clients. 4, 7, 8 is 1. Breathe in for 4. Hold it for 7, release for 8. Or there's something called a physiologic sigh, which is 2 inhales, exhale.
30
Just
seconds
telling
left,
you.
Gigi.
Okay, I'm going to finish up. There's so much to go over, but move around, get into nature, write down your thoughts, learn to manage your triggers. Okay, that's important to get help with that. Keep your mind and your body healthy. Go for hypnotherapy, hypnosis. It's fascinating, and I'm a hypnotherapist, so I love doing that. And for some of us, medications can help sometimes. You know, let's not poo-poo anything. I was in the sciences. I'm in a different area now, but medications can be helpful for some of us to just take off the edge. So there are many things you can do to help with anxiety.
And she
Um,
does have a free gift, the 7 life-changing mind shifts. I've posted the link in the chat. You can grab that. And also, Gigi, you have on your website, they can, if they want to contact you for like a free coaching session, it's on your
Free
website as well.
clarity. Yes, a free
Okay,
clarity call. And I'm so sorry I had to go fast and I had all those issues, but there's so much to share. And I
great.
am looking forward if anybody wants to give a call. Partnering is wonderful. It's great to have a safe space with someone you trust who can help you through this. Most important to remember, Pam, you're not alone. There's nothing wrong with you. You're a whole beautiful human being, and you want to align and become the authentic you that we all need in the world.
That's right. So that link that's in the chat will take you to her website and you can grab that clarity call as well as her gift. Okay. So you can
Yes,
scroll
and
and
if you
it takes you right to her website. Thank
and
you so
on
much,
this,
Gigi. We do appreciate it. We have to get to our next speaker.
sorry so much, and have a great day, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, our next speaker is Rita Black, and she's going to share with us breaking through subconscious weight roadblocks. And her gift for you guys is how to stop the start over tomorrow weight struggle cycle and begin releasing weight for good. 1 second, Rita. I'm going to stop this. Oops. I'm going to stop the recording so I can record you separately. Okay.